kind of feel like Jamie Oliver now. Like I feel like this is a very Jamie Oliver setup, like a pizza right next to my crotch. We all love pizza. I mean, it's delicious. If you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. It's one of the best things ever invented, but I put it up there with the dishes that, you know, you wouldn't usually make at home. Things like breads, pastries, pizzas, hot dogs. These are all things that take time to kind of perfect in a home setting and to find a recipe that actually works with you and the tools that you do have. So it makes more sense as a consumer to actually go to restaurants or bakeries to buy these things that these people and artisans have been working for years to perfect, right? So I don't usually make pizza at home, but I've tried before. I've had some successes and I've had some failures, but I wanted to try to see if we could experiment and find a recipe that works for a home setup in the Philippines, given our humidity, our weather, and the available ingredients that we have locally. Before everyone goes off, we are not trying to make authentic Italian pizza. There are tons of different ways pizza is made now all over the world, so we're just gonna make one that I think is good enough and that I would like to eat every day. So before we get into it, I'm gonna go talk to Richie, who's the head baker and owner of Panaderia Toyo over here in Makati.
First of all, we use an unbleached flour. The thing with unbleached flour is when the millers make the flour, they normally let it rest and oxidize for anywhere from 3 weeks up to 3 months. The bleaching process, like what the millers do is they mill the flour, they add a bleaching agent, and within 48 hours, it's already white.
Got it.
The thing with this is the flour doesn't get to mature over that time, so it doesn't develop like a good dough handling quality. All the dough is this flour. We have a sourdough starter that's just flour and water, sea salt, and extra virgin olive oil. We leave that for 3 hours at room temp, and then we stick it into the chiller until the next day. 18 hours, it's ready, and then we work with it on the next day. We make the doughs. We just want to stop once all the flour is hydrated.
So once everything is more or less combined.
Then we just leave it for like 20 minutes. I'll put all the salt in now, and then we'll start putting in olive oil. So as I'm taking it out, like I'm not really, like a lot of people will cut it into bits and pieces and take it out, but
try to take it out.
Yeah, the lesser cuts, the better. Because you work so hard to form all those gluten strands, and then
just
you don't want to
just ruin
cut
it,
them.
right?
Yeah.
So it is really like treating it like a little baby, right? It's kind of like answering it to its needs and taking care of it and listening to it.
And then, yeah, this is good enough for me. We give it so much time. This is an oiled tub, so we just put it in. And then I'll let this rest for 15 minutes, then give it a fold, and it's gonna rest for an hour and a half.
Okay.
Then we divide it, and then it's gonna rest for like 5-6 hours.
Wow.
Okay, so after resting for an hour and a half, we can divide them into 190 to 200 gram pieces. Sourdough will always be less by volume compared to something with commercial yeast. If you want a bit of olive oil or...
That's pretty good. That's pretty delicious, actually. And I don't get any of the sourness. So my first attempt was interesting. I got this recipe for a 24-hour dough that this Italian guy makes in Italy, and I thought, all right, let's give it a try. So what I did was I put some olive oil with some water, some sugar, and some active dry yeast. I let that bloom for a little bit. I then put that in a mixer at a very slow speed, to which I added some Caputo unbleached flour. Then I slowly mixed that dough, and then the dough was basically risen and reworked multiple times, so a lot of kind of like patiently waiting for the dough to rise properly and then reworking it by hand again. At a controlled temperature, so you want to make sure it's not too cold and not too hot either. So ambient temperature, maybe around 25, 26 degrees Celsius. We then left that in the fridge for about 24 hours, and the next day they had overexpanded. These things had become like Frankenstein pizza doughs, and they basically, from separate dough balls, they became one big dough, so it was really sticky. And I knew from there it wouldn't be a great recipe for me. But I still tried to finish it. The result after cooking it was way too white, probably because of too much flour, and just wasn't great. It overall just felt too bready. So knowing this, I went to Kermit's to meet my good friend Gianni. So Kermit's is very popular in Siargao, but they also have one branch here in Makati. And I asked him if he could show me kind of like a simple recipe on how to make pizza at home. So what's the most important thing when you're making a dough? I'm just gonna watch, I'm not doing anything.
The flour.
Okay.
We're using 00 flour, white flour. We try to get not bleached, so we get the Caputo from Italy.
Yeah. So this is dry yeast.
Dry yeast and the water.
And some water. Okay. And then we're just gonna mix that.
Okay, you can put it down.
So you leave this for how long?
Oh, just a few minutes.
Okay.
Flour. We pour the water with yeast.
Olive oil.
Olive oil, and we put salt. So you find the right consistency and texture when nothing gets stick anymore in your hand.
Okay. So the technique is stretch out,
stretch
roll,
out,
stretch
roll,
out, roll.
yes.
Okay.
We let it rest for a while.
Okay. And then how long does this rest
So
for?
we leave it there for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we start to portion it. Normally I let it rest in the chiller 24 hours.
24 hours. Okay.
24 to 48 hours
And then
maximum.
that's when you can work it into the shape.
Yes.
So this is
So this one, how they look like after about 24 hours of resting in the chiller. So they expand some.
And here they didn't. So they didn't stick together.
No, they don't stick together normally. No,
but then they kept its form also.
Yes. So this is dough from yesterday. A bit of semolina. And then normally what I do, I work it into the semolina, no more into the flour.
Okay.
So the dough will not touch any more flour. So normally you always start from the center, you go out. They make a bit of break. This is breakage is because of it's a bit cold from the fridge. Should not be like.
So how long will it stay here?
Normally I have to stay less than 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 120 seconds.
So when cooking it, what are you looking for? You're looking for peaks, mountains?
Peaks coming out, and then a bit the brownish part on
top.
On top and on the sides.
And that's why it's important to have a stone floor.
Yes.
So much better than mine. No, texture's there. I like the semolina because you can actually feel it. That's one of the main reasons why I like using semolina.
Because you can feel the taste of it.
So today what I'm going to show you is hopefully one recipe that'll work. It's going to be a 24-hour rise. It's going to take quite a while. And the second one I'm going to show you is how to do a 45-minute dough. We're going to be using some Caputo flour, and Caputo is quite pure, so it doesn't have sugar like other flours that you might find on the market. So that just rests behind me. While waiting for that to happen, it's going to take about 10 minutes. I'm going to show you how to do a really quick 45-minute pizza dough. And this should go into our grease bowl one more time, but this time for about 50 minutes, and that should be ready to go and ready to cook. Go ahead and start working on our 24-hour dough. cover that one more time. And this we're taking with us. So these go in the fridge, so it's like a delayed fermentation rising, and we'll see these tomorrow. We're in my parents' house right now because I don't have a garden where I can do this. This is a little oven called the Gosney, and it's made for just personal, individual size pizzas. I don't have a thermometer, so I won't be able to tell you exactly how hot it is, and I also won't be able to tell you how quickly it'll be done. So that's been in there for about 12 minutes, and in 12 minutes, it seems actually like the bottom part of it is actually really cooked. So all I'm looking for is texture at the back, and we should be good to go. Pizza is done. Just by touching it here already, it does feel very stiff. And I think it's because it was a 45-minute dough rise. So we're just gonna finish it up with some basil, olive oil, and then now we taste it. It's hot. Flavor-wise, it's delicious. I mean, it's cheese and it's tomatoes and it's bread, basically. Could it be more airy and fluffy? 100%. The quick fermentation time, the quick rise time does not benefit this pizza at all. But would I eat it if I was drunk? Well, I eat everything when I'm drunk.
Since Erwan is filming and I'll be the one stretching the 24-hour pizza, you guys watch and learn how a pro does it. Bellissima, bella.
What are you doing?
I'm doing it like the pros in Napoli. We're making sure that everything's good with the pizza, guys. Everything's good, yes? Oh, shit.
Sorry about that, sorry. Burpee.
Burpee? It's called a burp.
Okay, guys, so it's been around 20 minutes.
Oh, bellissimo.
Yeah.
Ah. Mmm.
Flavor-wise, I think is good. And what I like is, can you see the holes?
Yeah, the bubbles.
So I think that's super key.
Yeah, but Italians make it thin.
I think maybe we could roll it out thinner. And I think it should cook a little faster at a higher temperature. So this oven didn't give me the temperature I wanted with the wood fire.
But
flavor-wise and dough-wise, I think
Amazing.
we finally got the dough right.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo.
Che cazzo sta dicendo?
Che voglio mangiare la tua figa.
No, no mia figa.
Vaffanculo.
Cazzo.
So earlier that was in my parents' house, and I realized that the whole point of this video is to show you how to make a stable pizza recipe in the Philippines at home. And I realized I never shot at home. So this is my home kitchen, but I got my oven on full whack right now. It goes up to about 250 centigrade Celsius, so close to 500 Fahrenheit. I'm waiting for that to heat up.
Who took a big pee?
Where?
On the pad.
Happy princess.
No, princess doesn't pee that much. What's that? So I just made this homemade pizza and I'm excited to see how it will turn out in my own oven here at home because I only do it in Hector 1 at the office. So I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out here at our oven at home. Let's see how it goes. 8:35, so probably give it about 20 minutes I think, and then let's see later how it turns out.
How long did it take?
So basically that
Just see how long it took.
20 minutes.
Okay. So 20 minutes in a home oven setup.
So good.
Someone with pizza. Do you want pizza? Find you.
Princess, look at her.
It's freaking out. So So cook time was longer at home, but it's nice and soft right in the middle where you want it to bend. And it's nice and crunchy in the crust, but it also has those really nice air pockets we were looking for. The bottom of it isn't burnt, which is important, which means we didn't put too much flour.